My name is Brus Lipton, and I'm a former research scientist. My history was based on cloning stem cells. A lot of people think stem cells are a new understanding in science, but I was cloning stem cells 43 years ago in 1967. And through my research, I found a different path in understanding medicine and health with a different view on genetics, which is now called epigenetics, the new science. In school, most people learn the science of genetics, which is the belief that genes control our traits. This science is really based on the fact that we get our genes from our mother and father at the moment of conception, and that these genes at that moment of conception actually will determine the rest of our lives in regard to our physical, emotional, and behavioral characteristics. A new science is called epigenetics. And epigenetics is an understanding that genes are not self-actualizing, meaning genes do not turn on and off. Genes are just blueprints. And the significance of that is that in order to engage a blueprint, it's not the blueprint's activity, it's the contractor's activity, the one who reads the blueprint that controls the blueprint. So in epigenetics, it's a science of how environmental information selects the genes and can modify the readout of the genes. And this becomes very significant because in genetic control, the old story, we are victims of our genetics. And the new story, epigenetics, because we can change the readout of the genes, we can then become masters of our genetic, and this becomes important because we actually control our health with our beliefs, our perceptions, and our attitudes about life. In the world of science that I grew up in, the mechanisms of how life worked were based on what we call Newtonian physics. Newtonian physics is a science that emphasizes the material physical world. So according to Newtonian physicists, if you look at a body, it's like a machine made out of chemicals and controlled by genes. And therefore we look at the nature of the physical activity of the body in regard to its chemistry as controlling its life and its functions. However, there's been a change in our understanding of mechanisms. And rather than the Newtonian physics, this information has been updated by what we call quantum physics. Quantum physics recognizes that although we see an atom as a physical structure, when quantum physicists wanted to find out what the atom was made out of, when they looked inside, rather than finding physical particles, they found that the atom was made out of vibrational energy. And all of a sudden, when you understand this, if matter is made out of energy, then everything in the universe is made out of energy. And therefore, it becomes important to understand that energy is very powerful in influencing what we call matter. So Newtonian physics says matter can only be influenced by other matter, and quantum physics says no, matter can be influenced by the invisible energy fields, and therefore a new kind of healing is available to us using energy vibration rather than physical chemicals. And it turns out that energy vibration as a means of communication is 100 times more efficient than trying to communicate with the body through chemistry. So we have a new understanding of how to control our body, and it's through energy fields and vibrations, which include thoughts. In the world that we live in, which is based on Newtonian physics, where matter is primary, and you mix this with an understanding from Darwinian theory that we're in a competition for fitness and survival, and I would ask a person in this world, and I say, well, how do I know how fit you are? And in this world you say, well, I am very fit because I have this much matter, because matter represents the world, and the more fitness you have, the more matter you have. Matter in our case is represented by money, because that's what you buy the matter with. So the more money you have in this world, then according to the Darwinian principle, then the more fitness you express. But in a world based on quantum physics, which is based on energy, then there are things that are much more important than the physical realm. And some of the things that we understand in the nature of energy are emotions and feelings, such as love and beauty. These are expressions of energy. And in a world of quantum physics, we start to recognize that this is more important than the actual physical possessions. So as we move from this world into the future world on quantum physics, we will surely emphasize more the nature of love and feelings and energy and beauty and harmony over the money and the material expressions that we look at today. Science has revealed to us a very disturbing fact that the biosphere is falling apart, that life is undergoing what they refer to as a mass extinction. We're losing species of animals and plants faster than ever in history. 5 previous mass extinctions have been recognized, but they were due to things like comets or asteroids hitting the Earth and destroying the environment. But science has recognized that the mass extinction we're facing today is actually due to human behavior. It says that the way we are treating the planet, the way that we are treating each other, is disrupting the ecosphere and actually creating a situation of our own extinction. And therefore it says that in order for us to survive, we must change the way we are living and behaving on this planet. And in order to do that, we have to change the fundamental beliefs. So it's very interesting to recognize that the world is now in a state of change, that the institutions that have brought us up to this part in our history are now falling apart. While this scares many people, I really want people to recognize an important point. It's the current institutions of today that are carrying the beliefs that are causing our own extinction. That in order for us to survive, the system has to fall. We have to have a crash of the system so that we can build a new sustainable system to support our vitality and support the planet to keep us alive. And why this is important is I want people to recognize, do not be afraid of the changes that are coming, because these changes are necessary for us to leave behind the destructive beliefs that we've been operating by so that we can create a better world through new beliefs and new institutions that support humanity and the environment and Mother Nature.